Meme review. Radically moderate. You guys ever see this thing? If you're white and you eat sushi with chopsticks, congratulations, you're a colonizer. It's amazing how far we've come, you guys. You're a colonizer. 4,000 likes. I don't even know what if is this person too woke? Is the horseshoe theory really true? You become so woke, you're just right up there with the other people. Here's a sad one. So, I saw your last post about cultural appropriation, and I completely agree. I'd like to ask your opinion on whether or not you think it's okay for me to learn Japanese because my mother is Japanese. Well, obviously the answer is yes. It's okay for you to learn Japanese. It's okay for everyone to learn Japanese. I even want to learn Japanese a little bit. My school was like, oh, you have to take a foreign language. You have to take Spanish, or because they didn't offer other cool languages. My wife, her school offered German. But she, I don't know what language she took. I think she took German. And I had to take Spanish because my school only offered it. Everyone's like, oh, well, you should take Spanish. It's more useful. Other people say you should take Chinese because it's going to be, more useful than Japanese. I'm like, I'm a weeaboo. I'm going to learn Japanese. I would say so, right? So, okay, what's going on here? Your mom's Japanese, you're half Japanese. Should you learn Japanese? Cultural appropriation, what's going on here? I would say don't learn it, says the woke person. The damage has been done by your father. He either robbed a Japanese woman of her heritage, or he has committed cultural appropriation by adopting Japanese culture. It's best to minimize the damage. What the actual fuck is this person talking about here? What is the damage? What damage is done here? Stick with English. The best thing you can do is appropriate white culture and reform it so it's not imperialist. That is the best way to repair the damage. Remember, each small candle lights a corner of the dark. Thanks for reading. Why you should not be doing the Ageho face. And everyone's like, oh, poor Delphine's going to be out of a job. A key point in understanding why this isn't ethical for non-Asians, especially white people, to do is acknowledging that there are stereotypes specific for the sexuality of women of color, which constantly disempowers us. The Ageho represents the worst aspects of the submissive Asian sexy time lover stereotype. While I didn't even know that was a stereotype, it often argued that it merely an unbecoming, funny O-face anyone in the throes of pleasure can pull. We all have to remember the context it is most often used. Tell me about the context. You want to link a video to, you want to link something to demonstrate, okay? It's most often performed by underage, or at least, the very least, infantilistic female characteristics in manga who are overwhelmed by pleasure without their consent. Oh, hello there. Thanks for the follow. We used to be able to celebrate other cultures. You're right, man. You are right, man. I remember when I was going to school, guys, I'm an old person. I grew up in the 90s. We would have something called like Festival of Nations. And you'd like go to this convention center, like Minneapolis, for example. And they would have like a booth and like a room for each culture. And there'd be like over like 50 rooms or something, 50 cultures there. And you have a food, and you could buy like some food and eat food from like, like actual French people from France, dressing in French clothing, serving French food. And then you do it with the Germans. And then you do it with the Swedes. And you do it with all cultures, Indian people. and it's friggin' awesome. And you could learn about people's culture, and you could buy their clothes and try them on and do stuff like that. You go to anime conventions, and you could buy like kimonos and stuff. And apparently they're like, yeah, wear our clothes. We love it when you do that stuff. But now, don't even think about it. You totally got me there, man. You triggered me with that one. The same way that only black people can use the N-word, all other non-black people, especially white people, cannot use it because our forefathers have all used such derogatory nomenclature to subjugate black people. We cannot continue the subjugation. The slur is not ours to reclaim. The ethics of Asian women doing agaho and reclaiming the trope rooted in R is debatable. It can be argued that doing so reinforces a stereotype that harms all women and victims of R regardless of race. Wow. Okay. Change the subject. Why do so many white people speak non-white languages? So I was talking before about how my wife learned German and I had to learn Spanish. My school was poor. We didn't have all these fancy language options. I would have taken Japanese if I had a choice. Why did you take a... Wait, I'm supposed to learn German or what? French? Because it's white language? French and German have no real application to me. I'm not around French or German people. I'm never going to talk to them. Spanish people, they're like a significant portion of my state. Some of them are my coworkers. Some of my coworkers are from Mexico. So yeah, Spanish makes sense. Cultural appropriation is a real issue, okay? One of the worst cases of this realm of second languages. Caucasians love to appropriate cultures through languages as a way to intrude on the lives of those who might not speak their language. It's seen as fun or interesting. No, it was a fucking foreign language requirement for goddamn colleges, okay? We're all just doing what the fucking colleges want us to do, okay? For better or worse, the higher institution system says you have to have 2 semesters of foreign language education if you want to go in the universities. And so, bam, everyone's taking 2 years of fucking Spanish. Also because it was an easy A for a lot of people. Well, let's continue. That's a meme. That's some Trevi Stock papers. I'm going to have to read this sometime because I don't know what the hell this is. Maybe somebody can tell me what the Trevi Stock primer is. Something about groups, cohesions, and conferences, and I don't understand it. Try to be less white. Okay, Coca-Cola. Oh, we're disavowing these images here. Oh, we're just going over generic memes here. So, a lot of people have been talking about the instances of Asians are getting beat up all the time. Just wanted to bust out some crime statistics in case people ever forget. There's that. They don't mention Asian on there. We'll go to some different ones. What is this? Whiteness needs to be rooted out, right? Like Jewness in the 40s? Don't give them ideas. Jews are considered people of color on a good day to these people. At the drop of a hat, I'm sure they become white when their narrative is convenient. I know unironically goes for Asians. What? POC when they're getting killed by police or white people. White when they do too well in school. Oh, damn. Poor Asians, man. They get the short end of the stick. So let's go look at some more crime data here. We got to do something to level the playing field here, okay? The aggravated prostitution rate for 100,000. That rape rate, Jesus. Weapons violations per 100,000. DUI rate. Oh, at DUI rates, some other people are showing up there. Gambling violation rate. Robbery rate. Motor vehicle theft rate. Aggravated assault rate. This isn't really quite fair, though. You should really try to go by urban whites versus rural whites. I feel like that would be a more fair characteristic. But then again, it's per 100,000. But it's per 100,000 like rural people versus 100,000 urbanite people. So maybe if you went per 100,000 white people in the urban areas, you might get a different result. I don't know. So this is our. I'll have to do a different article on that. We'll do that later. My buddy is in AIT right now, and he's got his first. He's got his first extremism briefing on the day. They were told that the Capitol Hill protesters are the enemy of the army, but, quote, we still have to protect people like them for now, end quote. Note a blindingly bright warning signs like the last four words. People like them for now. The company asked to give examples of extremism they've seen in the United States. One guy said he was from Portland and Antifa has ruined his city. The instructor said, we aren't talking about things like that. Okay. Wife this, because my wife is like really punk. She agrees with me. You can't be punk and also be the dominant culture taught in schools, paraded by corporations, peddled by Hollywood, and protected by social media companies. So all these people are like, yeah, I'm punk. Protect gay rights. Rage Against the Machine is now part of the machine, pretty much. Anyways. I mean, how are you supposed to fight the power when your power symbols are on bombs killing people around the world? Right? Whiteness is a pandemic. Liked by a CBS reporter. Oh yeah, Trump's. Here we go. Violent interracial incidents in 2018. Table 4, Bureau of Justice Statistics. Here you have the black on white, white on black. Then we have blacks on Hispanics. And lastly here is blacks on Asians. Asian people are not attacking black people at all, it seems. According to this data. Which is probably racist. So this is a school nowadays. Nowadays schools have an active shooter button. All right. It just plays pumps up kicks. Racist history of celebrating the American tomboy. Endless privilege accorded. What? What? Their boy. So yeah, the Atlantic shooting suspect believed not to be racially motivated. That's some people believe. I'm not Asian, but I see you. I'm not Asian, but I hear you. I'm not Asian, but I'm with you. Are you fucking kidding me? Trending yellow squares. I don't know who the real racists are anymore. So yeah, the United Auto Workers informed that the Ford plant is closing to go to Mexico. Very nice. America is a corpse being consumed by maggots. Liberals are rooting for the maggots. Conservatives are rooting for the corpse. Yes. Well, that's where I think we are right now. The state of our country. It was nice knowing you guys. I guess we get what we fucking deserve. That's a cool little bear. So, I don't know who this Ramsey Paul guy is. But he posted this graph here of firearm homicide rate per 100,000. See, there's certain people listed here. Oh, look at that. Finland, 3.3. Austria, 2.8. They have guns in Austria and Finland? And United States, white people, 1.7. So it's like these United States white people are committing crime at a lower rate than France, Austria, and Canada. Well, what was the year of this data? Because I feel like with, you know, Sweden could be up here pretty high by now. Maybe France. England's getting pretty dope, I hear. Ramsey says, we don't have a gun problem. I wonder what he's trying to say. I'm not sure. Joe Biden passed the bill that made student loan ineligible for financial relief. Joe Biden is the reason so many of us don't have families yet. Joe Biden is why we can't afford houses. Joe Biden is why we're looking long dollars for lower wages. Sanders for president. And you guys fucking voted for him, though. Because you were like, oh, we can't have Trump. We need to have, it's either Biden or nothing. This is an interesting thing. I'm not a landlord. I'm looking to rent out a room. Important. If you plan or have already taken the vaccine, you will not be able to live here. Those of us who research this and are aware of what's really going on know that by taking it, you become a liability. I think it's the act of taking it. If you're not intelligent enough to know what's really going on and you believe the lie, you won't be a good fit here anyways. I speak from a knowledge base of someone more respected than Dr. Shout out to those Irish people whose families were enslaved and came to the United States for a better life and worked in factories and then got called privileged and blamed for slavery by a beta male soy drinking hypocrite. I'm vaccinated, but unless you get your shot, mine won't work. Apparently, while the media hyperventilates over non-issues, they decidedly ignored the leftists that set up an autonomous zone inside Minneapolis. Yeah, okay. I don't kind of have time for Twitter snapbacks. Trustworthy whites. They'll have to take that down. Here's a bunch of countries that require a voter ID. Let's look, where's the I? Where's India? India should be on this list, right? India requires voter ID. Is it not alphabetical? There's India. There it is. All right, real talk. Soldiers' responsibilities. Participation in criminal gangs or extremist activities is inconsistent with military service. Soldiers may not engage in cyber-related activities in support of extremist organizations or crimes. Soldiers must report to command any actual or suspected extremist activities affiliations. When attending otherwise permissible social events, soldiers must recognize So here's some, apparently this is what the military is being taught to look out for. 3%ers, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, Keck, an igloo on a flag, parentheses quotes, Antifa. That one kind of looks like it might be photoshopped on there, but I'm not sure. Ordu Rune, Pepe, SS, Hungarian Fascist Party. Someone else identified all these before. I don't know what that one is. Guys, the Hong Kong protesters were flying Pepe flags. According to U.S. military, extremists in Hong Kong. Those extremists in Hong Kong. Let's give it up to our military. I mean, man, I can't wait to get I can't wait till maternity flight suits start showing up at the local military surplus store. To get my maternity flight suit. So let's talk about Denmark here. Denmark will now limit the number of residents with non-Western origin in neighborhoods to a maximum of 30% within 10 years in order to, quote, reduce the risk of religious and cultural parallel societies, end quote. The government announced today. I was telling you guys for a while that Yuri Bezmenov told us that we're going to have to restrict some liberties and freedom if we want to undo what's going on. And so this is one country rolling back a freedom. You can't have more than 30% immigrant in one area. Neighborhoods. In neighborhoods. So it's not even like a county. They mean in a neighborhood. Like a school district. A school district can't be more than 30% a minority. Well, there you go. That will help people integrate. Because if you have a school district that's 80% the non-majority culture, those people aren't really being indoctrinated into the majority culture then, because they're not meeting with the majority culture. They're not being outvoted. When they go out to play, and there's 3 people going out to play, like patty cake, and you're going to have a vote, what the Danish government proposed, 2 of them are always going to be Danish kids out voting the new immigrant kid. And they're going to like, no, we're doing things our way. And you're going to play with us, otherwise you're going to be bored. Not bad. Not bad, Denmark. Is it racist? That's what people are probably calling it. Oh, this is fascist. This is racist. It's necessary, and it should have been done a long time ago. Asians asked to be less successful to stop ruining racial narrative. Yeah. If they could just stick to getting beat up and not be successful. You're not allowed to succeed yet. It's a new campaign. We can't talk about what happened in the Michigan Court of Claims. We are not allowed to talk about the fact that things were done with matching standards in violation of the administrative whatever. Teen Vogue. Let's give it up for Teen Vogue, you guys. 2006. Back to School. 5-minute makeup tricks. Now Teen Vogue. Karl Marx's idea on how they're relevant to climate change. I'm showing my wife this and she cracks up. She's dying laughing. She's like, what the hell? She's like, I need that 5-minute makeup tip. Teen Vogue is letting me down. And if you guys like this type of content, leave a like down below. Subscribe. Tell your friends.